Archbishop, thanks once again. We're approaching Christmas. Obviously, we're in the middle of Advent.
We are.
And similar to last year, we have changes. We have recent restrictions given to us by the public health officer.
We do.
And it will impact how we celebrate Christmas this year.
It will impact, but I must say it's a lot better than last year. I remember last year we were at 10.
Yes.
Which
right.
was, I hope never to be repeated again. At least this year we're at 50% capacity or even 100% capacity if everyone is vaccinated.
Right.
So we should be able to accommodate everyone who wants to come to Mass on Christmas.
Right, and that's the goal generally right now.
It
with
sure
the restrictions, regardless of where anybody may be on their understanding of the pandemic or vaccination or anything, the goal is to get as many people.
That's the goal, and I think we can accommodate it because I think most Masses will probably be 50% capacity.
Right.
And I think many parishes will add extra Masses.
Yeah.
And that in nearly every parish there will be a provision at least for a Mass for those who are vaccinated. Because as we know, there's a certain number of people, particularly some older people or immunocompromised, that would feel much better knowing that everyone around them is vaccinated. So I think that we're going to be able to accommodate everybody and therefore kind of preserve the unity of the community.
And enjoy the Christmas season.
And enjoy Christmas. And the Sunday afterwards, which is Holy Family.
Right after, yeah. I was going to say, there's been people, I think, who have not been back to Mass since the pandemic began.
Yep.
And some of them probably, I think, would be, maybe this will be the first time they're coming back.
I think it will, for some it will be. And I hope they'll be back.
Right, and that we can continue.
Yes, that we can continue. And I see a lot of hope in the air and what people are trying to do. I think the main thing is that we're one people. We know that there are differences in how people view the pandemic and vaccination and so on.
Right.
But there's room for everyone.
Family.
We're one family. We sure are.
Right. With all of the the restrictions have changed. They've gone back and gone forth.
Yes.
And so on. It's very difficult for pastors. It's very difficult for parish, for ushers.
It's difficult for everyone, right?
They've had a really difficult job, and they've done extraordinary work.
They have.
And I was just going to say, how do you communicate to them as they know they're going to have to again be doing a lot of extra work at this Christmas?
They do, and they certainly deserve our thanks because in some ways they have to monitor. Somebody does have to count that we're that 50% capacity. Fortunately, most churches have clickers from the census if they want to do that, or even in many Masses, I think
it'll be
it's almost just by eyeball. You'll be able to do it, but still puts a little bit of a burden. I think in some places for the 50% capacity, they will also be setting up in their parish hall
they can
or
live
basement.
stream
Live stream, exactly.
Right.
And so that nobody, God willing, will ever have to be turned away. They might not get into the main body of the church, but they'll be able to assist at Mass and receive Holy Communion.
And that would qualify as Mass.
It certainly does. It certainly does.
Right. The Christmas Eve might be a challenge.
Christmas Eve is more than Christmas Day, curiously. Yeah. When the majority, I dare say, of people actually assist at Mass for Christmas.
Right.
And so I'm awfully sure that many parishes will add an extra Mass to be able to accommodate the numbers.
Right.
I'd be disappointed if they didn't have to, saying, well, the people aren't coming. I'm hoping that they do. Might be a little different on New Year's because that doesn't bring out quite as many people.
Right. Yeah.
But for Christmas, so I don't anticipate that there'd be anybody's going to have to worry saying, "Oh, I better not go because I won't get in."
Right.
I'd like to dispel any fear of that for sure.
Good. There's a lot of strife in the world. There's a lot of polarization. There's a lot of among individuals, and of course we see it in social media of people attacking other people's views, being suspicious of one another, etc.
Yes.
We're called to something else.
We're called to be unifiers. We're not called to be sniping at people that we disagree with. There's certainly a place for honorable disagreement and discussion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, social media seems to lend itself to a kind of bitterness and an attack, an ad hominem against other people that is not helpful to discussion, and I don't think it's certainly helpful to the family of God, which is the church.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
And we'd like to be the sign of how to.
We would like to be the sign
do this well.
To do it well, and I think we have the tools. We're to respect one another. We're to love one another. We're to do to one another as we wish that they would do unto us.
Right.
So, as I say, there are disagreements, and we can't pretend that there's not.
Yeah.
But there are ways to handle disagreements, and unfortunately, I think has seeped a bit sometimes into ecclesial discourse, a kind of discourse that is more political in nature, and we're to build up the church in unity. We pray at every Mass, for the unity of the church,
right,
that the Lord wills.
So how do we do that as individuals to make sure that we...
One of the things that I think that we should do is probably fast a little from social media. We can all kind of indulge our own views and so on. I don't, in the long run, think I don't think it adds to the building up of one's interior life. I think it's a huge distraction.
Distraction from it.
Just a distraction. Why waste your time on that? And I don't know. Some people live by sort of endlessly clicking social media on this, and I frankly don't find it useful.
Yeah, I think that's a great recommendation for Advent in general. If you're going to do a fast in Advent,
fast a little bit from your social media.
Christmas, of course, is our hope. It's our joy. We have the blue light Christmas.
We have the blue lights, and I've seen some wonderful blue lights on several of our churches, and even at the pastoral center.
Do you think this is going to continue long after the pandemic? It started in the pandemic.
It started in the pandemic. I hope it does continue. That it might have a slightly different sense. We'll maybe shift it more to a Marian theme. Yeah. But I think it could be. Catholic churches and places they put up blue.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask you a question of when you were young. Of course, you hung up your stocking, and I did. You waited for Santa, and
I did.
Do you still have a stocking?
No, I don't have a stocking. But people give me sometimes shopping bags with stuff in it. No, I must admit I don't have a stocking. I think my nieces and nephews and so on, they all have stockings, and we sure did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But that was when stockings you put in mandarin oranges, because they only came out at Christmas. Things have changed. I think they've been upped a bit now.
Many people have the tradition of opening a gift on Christmas Eve and then the rest on Christmas morning. And did you have anything like that?
No, we were very strict. This was when I was little. Of course, it was still fasting and so on.
Yeah, complete fasting.
And so yes, indeed. So we would have to come down on Christmas morning, not look into the living room, and go to Mass, and then come back from Mass and open presents. So we didn't open presents, and as children we didn't go to midnight Mass.
Right. Okay.
On the other hand, in our neighborhood there were a number of course of French Canadians, and they always went to midnight Mass and stayed up and had great parties after midnight Mass with tourtière and so on. But we didn't. We were duller.
Archbishop, thanks once again for this. I know we'll have a Christmas message. That
I certainly will. It's always great to talk to you, Makani. And Advent, season of hope, blue lights, unity. The good Lord has been awfully good to us, and
very good to us. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.